Character introductions. Cassidy, the mastermind behind Sugar Dumplin. Cassidy is a hustler with dreams bigger than her government assistance checks. With a sugar daddy who's perpetually absent, she's out here trying to run a candy empire while juggling her not-so-innocent side hustles. She aims to own her life, money, power, and the sweetest candy in town, but be warned, she's also got a mouth sharper than a broken lollipop. Etienne. The book-smart one of the crew, Etienne juggles exceptional intelligence with a relationship pulled straight from a soap opera. She's the mother of kids who are not hers, tangled in a web of marital infidelity that makes even the sharpest plot twist look like child's play. With a side gig at H&R Block, she's in too deep, trying to balance her dignity while lending her brain to Cassidy's wild schemes. Enjoli. Once a proud mom, Enjoli has plummeted into her quirks ever since a tragic love story went south, literally. With full custody lost to her kids' grandparents and a penchant for self-destructive antics, she finds herself riding the roller coaster of crazy checks, desperate to regain control but often losing herself amidst erratic tantrums, wheelbarrows of laxatives included. CeCe, the optimistic go-getter, CeCe keeps the crew's spirits high, even when the world tries to drag her down. With 3 kids and an unwavering love for the young dudes in the neighborhood, CeCe's lightheartedness shines, keeping her faithful to the fun of her youth, until Cassidy's ideas threaten to disrupt her flow. She's always down for a good time and isn't afraid to leverage her charm. Hilarious summary. In a world where candy isn't the only sweet thing to sell, Cassidy, Etienne, Enjoli, and CeCe, Team Sugar Dumplin, are declared the queens of questionable decisions in Fairmont Vista Projects. While Cassidy pretends to juggle 2 lives, one as a hustling mom in Section 8 and another as the pampered wife of a sugar daddy, her constantly spiraling schemes and hustles redefine business in the most chaotic ways. When Cassidy declares war on boredom with her candy shop venture, she rounds up her crew for some decidedly illegal income tax hustling, all while trying to manage a multifaceted candy empire and patch up the mess that is their functional dysfunction. Enjoli, our resident wild card, an escape artist from reality, is trying to show us all how to be always the sh*t, unless it involves actual sh*t on graves, a sticky situation that ensues post-laxative binge. Etienne is on a roller coaster ride of crazy check management and marital drama. Just when she thought her biggest challenge was helping clients dodge taxes, she has to help keep Enjoli from an explosive breakdown, and a police record to boot. And let's not forget CeCe, the optimistic cheerleader with a teenage daughter who just might be the next reality TV star, if mom's not busy plotting scandalous schemes around the boys who are merely here for the candy, and potentially the crazy baddies who run it. With ambitions that range from building a low-budget drug empire to vying for the title of Hood's best mom, expect hilarious misunderstandings, insane outbursts of non-conforming brilliance, and definitely a few floral arrangements of antics that might wind up at a funeral. No worries, it's just a prop. Will Sugar Dumplin's ambitions end in a successful candy kingdom, or will the sugar crash leave them all in a sticky mess of regret? Buckle up for a ride through hilarity, chaos, and a world where nothing is as sweet as it seems. Sugar Dumplin. Urban fiction author Kennedy Brown. Cassidy, Etienne, Enjoli, and CeCe, are all Section 8 mothers living in Fairmont Vista Projects. However, they are not too proud to live off the government, when in actuality, the women, especially the ever-hustling Cassidy, who maintains an apartment in Fairmont Vista, despite the fact she has married a sugar daddy who is always on the road, leaving Cassidy and her sons alone in his upper-class 4-bedroom home in Culper Falls. Yet she still has the yearning for her own money, so she decides to enlist Etienne, Enjoli, and CeCe to help run a candy store out of the apartment she has procured. However, Etienne, the intelligent, book-smart one, yet is the mother of a married man's children, Justin is quite content to stay married as long as his wife Vanice doesn't find out that he has fathered outside of their marriage. Enjoli has not been the same since her youngest child's father was killed while cheating, and although she lost custody of her kids and that AFDC check to her kids' paternal grandparents, but after a stint at Patrick B. Harris, Enjoli begins receiving what many call a crazy check. CeCe never lets anything get her down. She has 3 children, the oldest being a teenaged. Shada allows CeCe to live vicariously through her and trust any young guy from 18 to too old is exactly CeCe's type. A fact that almost comes to a screeching halt when Sugar Dumplin's greedy-ass boss Cassidy decides to expand the neighborhood candy plug into selling marijuana, clothes, and doing income tax returns. A good recipe, but will the outcome be sweet?
Cassidy, Hoodrich, Cassidy, coming up on the rough side of the mountain. CeCe, why is it that you live just next door and always get here 20 minutes later than scheduled? I asked. She just rolled her eyes and sighed. You know, Drew and Kev next door always start fighting early and stop late. Who can sleep with that? I said, girl, stop. Whatever scrape keeping you up all night is going to be keeping you up financially if you don't straighten up. Oh. Don't act like you have clout just because this is your scheming ass idea. But you are not the CEO or Etienne over me. Nobody is trying to be. I just need to get home before 6 p.m. You are home, remember? The projects. Nah, my dearest bitch envy. I mean my home with my husband. Yo, know this place is just a decoy to make this hood money. Cassidy, you are too many things. Has Etienne paid her fee for the month yet? Nah, and next month is approaching. Stuck-up ass fool in love probably gave it to her baby daddy, but something has gotta give, or her ass is out. And Enjoli is on some old dumb shit. Got a new dude living on her crazy check now. Girl. You know that is Stony Colton's brother, Colorado? He just got out of jail for his petty drug game. I think that is why she ain't selling her meds like she used to. He is selling them on street for $10 a pop. Truth be told, she need to start taking them again. Every time she opens her mouth lately it is about Desmond. Desmond burning in hell? Desmond rest in piss? Desmond got what he deserved. Why didn't I kill Desmond? At least I would still have my dignity. I am telling you. Even to this day. I laugh my ass off about her breaking her hand beating his corpse with his own brass knuckles. CeCe and I both howled. Girl. She seems to be slowly slipping back into needing her meds. Cassidy. Maybe we should talk her into checking herself back into Patrick B. Harris. I looked at this fool and said, are you high? Drunk? Dumb? Or all of the above? We need her to stay crazy, stay paying. Plus I think she is bulimic. She took 2 boxes of laxatives and some castor oil home. As we heard the door open, it was Etienne. Out of breath. Y'all come on. My uncle just saw Enjoli heading towards Honorary Memorial Gardens. We had to go and get her before police got her. She is in restriction from his grave. Luckily we got there. And there Enjoli was, in her Sunday best. As we got closer, it was obvious. Enjoli needed help. As if nothing at all was out of the norm. Elise saw us and said, what y'all doing here? I shook my head. Why are you here? I had to use the bathroom. She howled in laughter. Looking past her on Desmond's grave, covered at the top of the headstone lay a heaping pile of shit. Hence, the laxatives Enjoli were forever taking. Damn E. Why you do that nasty shit? Literally? Etienne gasped. Enjoli laughed and replied, showing this dead-ass cheater that with or without him, I am always the shit. Then she changed from laughter. Collapsing in tears, Etienne moved forward to help her. Cassidy and I stood in our spot, both thinking the same thing, hell nah. Not with that shit still on her hands. Oh. She managed to get up. Etienne was assisting her to the car. But as they got to Desmond's headstone, Enjoli paused, pulled up her undress and pissed on the grave yelling, happy birthday, rest in piss. I don't care what Cassidy says. This is not normal behavior. Cassidy, pay it forward. Etienne finally got Enjoli cleaned up and made her take her meds. They fall for her crazy mess all the time. I on the other hand know that she is just trying to keep that check rolling in. Truth be told, Enjoli knows exactly what her actions are and are going to be before she does them. Not once has she pulled a crazy that would cause her ass to be put away again. Enjoli is milking her crazy check for all it's worth. I also feel she does it for freedom. Of her children. Desmond's parents were raising them, along with another of Desmond's child. Enjoli, in my opinion, doesn't want to even attempt to raise her kids as long as she sees them once a month. She is cool. But that is her dumbass business. As I was arranging the candy to be sold when Etienne and I heard some loud giggly voices that belonged to Sebring, Enjoli, and Shada. With a couple of unfamiliar young male voices, Etienne shook her head and said Terrence is home for spring break. He brought 2 of his college dorm mates to visit. 2 mannish dumbass, how did they get into college in the first place, asses? I was about to ask her about her fees when she goes into her purse and pays in full. Etienne, you sure? I asked, not giving a damn to the concern I was trying to fake. Girl. Please. You know you've been talking shit on the low about the money, but it's cool / my seasonal job at H&R Block started back up. I didn't know you still did that. Your ass just gave me an idea. Cassidy, why do you keep up this facade? You don't need the money. Hell, you are already lying and benefiting from the government while being married to a man of means. What's wrong? Trouble in paradise. I am just fine in each aspect of my life. I just see options and let it ride. Roll the dice and 7 come 11 I am paid. That is all that matters. All that matters. Even over your kids and husband. Etienne sneered. Tang. Back it up? See this each and every month being late on your bills, that the government also pays? Why solely on that? This store and your part-time job doing taxes, which is ironic since you never worked long enough to receive an income tax check your damn self. Hypocrite profession much, your ass is entitled to your deadbeat baby daddy income tax. Let him give you more than an obligatory screw. Whatever, Cassidy. To me, it seems you have kids you care nothing about. And a husband who cares nothing for you. Girl, bye. Thanks for the payment. Not even gonna worry about the late fee. You can work it of? Before I could finish, Sebring, Enjoli and Shada came in giggling. Shada is understandable, but these two cougars need to sit down somewhere. I looked at them. Right on time for a quick action to our store. What y'all know about filling out income taxes? Sebring. This chick has been here before. Cassidy is out of her damn mind. I once finessed a guy named IRA. But damn if I play with the IRA. Enjoli perked up her crazy ass ears as if this chick was singing a Mahalia Jackson classic. I know a bit. Desmond's mother is district manager for K7 taxes. She perked up even more. But I wasn't feeling it. Cassidy smiled. Well, we are gonna start taking 1 hour a day classes with Etienne. People in the projects who work are always riffing on getting low returns and high processing fees. We are gonna start doing their taxes. For a nominal fee. $80, but only if they are getting over $1,500 or more refunded. Otherwise it will be $45. With the provision that we pad their info such as daycare fees and etc., which will net an additional $400 which will be paid to us to split evenly. That is illegal, can cause us jail time, and eviction. All except you, who could get extra time for scamming the welfare system as well. She said. I am not stupid. Plus my husband can afford to get me great representation from any attorney he wants. Y'all really need to stop worrying so much, especially my marriage. Because I got this. See, Cassidy lies for no reason. Who even asked her about that suresty-ass marriage of hers? I just wanted to get the day over with. Terrence's cousin is having a kickback, and my ass was gonna be all up in the place to be consequences be damned. And the two little wet behind the ears college boys from Barnwell, South Carolina. My hot in the ass daughter better keep her ass in idle tease. Because these cats are slick and she is super silly. But if their money is what they say, then I will slam dunk one and let Enjoli gorgeous but crazy ass in on the lick. Especially since I have been doing a bit of side hustling. What you know about them edible gummies? I always skim off the weed we sell low-key. Especially since it was my idea to get in good with Earl Mac, the weed man to the stars. I mean, he sold loud at Rego prices to us. And of course Cassidy always bought more than we needed. She would actually pay $1,500 a week, and would also make money off the side by stashing Earl's supply for him until re-up time. Cassidy even wrapped and rolled the blunts and sold them ready to smoke. But for all her ghetto finessing, she does not party. With the hood that she owes her second income and welfare benefits to. But as soon as she knows hubby is back in town, her ass runs to her home in the suburbs, leaving Shada, Etienne, and Enjoli to run Sugar Dumplin for days, only to show up and complain. As soon as she heard there was a kickback was poppin' later tonight, she insisted that we make sure nobody broke into her place. Nobody was gonna break in on my watch, but I will have her place 2 beers and a light switch away from an orgy. Sugar Dumplin. Cassidy. Hoodrich. I guess you could say I am very ambitious. You can say I am high maintenance for a chick from the projects. And many say I am greedy. That is the only thing they have right about me. The greedy part, that is. Because my only ambition is to look good. And I do. As for the projects, I do have an apartment at Fairmont Vista, but I only use it for a front to keep my welfare and fool stamps coming there in the name Chenoa Mayfield. Chenoa is my middle name, Mayfield is my maiden name. But 6 years ago I married Trevoran Ware, an airline mechanic who is out of town 4 days out of the week. Those 4 days, I take my kids back to our apartment complex and play my hood rich role operating a neighborhood candy store alongside fellow greedy chicks. Enjoli, Sebring, and Etienne. We all used to pool monthly food stamps. Buy candy in bulk. Our 4 checks pooled together bought beer, cigarettes, weed, other things the hood really relied on. And we all made money, way more than we had often spent. After all, rent, utilities were paid by the welfare system. Child support took care of the babies. At least mine still did. My 2 sons' dad, Runyon, kept his payments up. But of course he has no idea I lied to Runyon about that. As far as he knows, Runyon is a deadbeat dad. Untrue, but Runyon is married and has not made any effort to be in our boys' lives. So that alone made him a deadbeat in Trevorian's eyes. And there is another advantage. The complex had no social workers snooping in our apartments. And that is good because my apartment is the headquarters for Sugar Dumplin, the popular candy store we ran from my 2-bedroom decoy. My girls actually still lived in Fairmont Vista. And trying to come up the way I did. Marrying a man with a little money. Very generous and travels 4 days out of the week. Giving them time to do whatever they want in the meantime. Enjoli, Sebring, and Etienne were like me. Full-figured, pretty. The only difference is, I am smarter. I found one man to deal with. And I am about my money. And lately the 3 of them have been lacking in that department. So since I seem to put the most time, money, and all my portion of food stamps to supply the edibles, and most of my money buying the other necessities, I am going to have a meeting with them about increasing my percentage, and if they don't like it, they can get the hell on. But unlike me, they have no place to go. And let one of them turn me in. I have a man to get me out of that crunch. Yes, I may sound like a bitch. But sometimes being a bitch is the only thing a chick has to hold on to. Not to put their lack of business sense, but it was my idea to start Sugar Dumplin in the first place. I wanted for my girls what I wanted for me. A better life. But at the same time, I am going to make damn sure they don't surpass me. If anything, they owe me. Instead of giving up my apartment unbeknownst to my husband, I came up with the idea to donate the majority of my welfare check, food stamps, and withdrawing $3,500 of the account, my husband put me on in addition to his, and he never even seemed to notice the withdrawn funds, and trust one had a ready-made lie to tell. Too bad I had to waste it. But I put in more than my share. Enjoli has more kids than I do, for to be exact, all of which live with their paternal grandparents due to Enjoli having a nervous breakdown after her kid's dad was found dead in bed. With his side piece, a former first lady of a local Methodist church. It was a mess. It wasn't even her husband who killed them. It was yet another female Enjoli's baby daddy had knocked up. The weird thing is that after killing the adulterous pair, the chick, Sharonda, was sentenced to 20 years. Months later, she gave birth to twin girls, both also being raised by Desmond's parents. His death was devastating to Enjoli, but the embarrassment kicked grief in the ass. But not as hard as it kicked Enjoli's ass. She became catatonic and was institutionalized for 3 years. So now she gets a crazy check for $980, along with her welfare check for $580 and $450 in EBT each month. But she better be very thankful that I cared enough to suggest that she let Etienne, the treasurer of Sugar Dumplin, be trustee of her funds. Etienne was reluctant at first due to the friends and money don't go well together. But after Enjoli began getting engaged at least 4 times, each guy breaking off after they got either a car or trip, mostly money from her. So I was glad when Etienne reconsidered. I even more glad I convinced them to let me accompany them. Etienne was so rushed to get it over with her boyfriend, and she had plans. She was so in a rush she signed where witness was required and I signed where trustee signature listed, costing me $1,000 of Enjoli's money to Shatara Smith, the notary, and I set my hand into Enjoli's account each month, in Etienne's name. Etienne was snobbish for no damn reason. This hoe thinks she is me. Yeah, she has a man, but she is more or less an in-house hoe, meaning she has 3 kids with her so-called bae Justin Coleman / baby daddy / husband of Vanice. In fact, Justin married Vanice while Etienne was pregnant with their 3rd child. I get so tired of her part-time cartoon character ass crying 1 minute, glowing the next. I think he is the very reason Etienne is going into her 2nd month of non-payment of her share. So JAM deducting $420 from her pay. Sebring is forever bringing drama to Sugar Dumplin with her loud and gossiping ass. I swear each time certain customers she dislikes. Which is damn near every chick who enters. After a person leaves and after many compliments from others, Sebring will always find a negative makes no sense blooper scan. She sneered, y'all see that bitch ankles. I love it when she tries to hate on me. She can't even afford to hate on me, in fact she can't afford to cross me because that $744 she gets a month, and food stamps does not even match the good money she makes in the store. Her oldest daughter Shada worked part-time at the store 3 days out of the week for $200. She was smart as hell for a 15-year-old. And is a little thought in training. Her younger siblings ages 10, 7, and 2 years of age attended day all day except when Shada was off. She would pick them up after she herself got out of school. She is gonna need the practice because the way high school girls were always coming up to her about their boyfriend. Read statutory rape to me, but Sebring could care less. She was always trying to get over on somebody. She had no shame to her game when she told the welfare office that she didn't know who the father of her children were, and bam! $400 added to her monthly income, which she used to purchase weed, beer, and cigarettes for Sugar Dumplin. Trouble is, Sebring sits up with Shada smoking the majority of the weed. Come into the store with the munchies, eating a good bit of merchandise without paying. Well, I deduct that shit to Etienne to garnish from both mom and daughter stoners. But as I said, it is time to set these checks in check. If they want out, they were gonna pay a fee for that too, especially when I hit them with the changes being made. I am tired of piggybacking their asses, but since I was gonna put myself as sole owner of Sugar Dumplin with them as treasurer, buyer, and manager. Because that is what greedy bitches do. Sebring, call me CeCe. I slept late this morning. After all, it is Saturday and I don't have to be at the store until 3 p.m. And for that I am very grateful. Cassidy is on some other mess today. At least by her text message demanding to see Etienne, Enjoli, and myself. Cassidy has really gotten arrogant and pushy, at least she tries to be. But trust she does not want to take it there with me because of the crew. I am the messy one and I own it. What would you call a chick who has a wealthy, yet absent 4 days of the week hubby, put you up in a nice home, treats and adopts your kids as if they were his own, yet you want to keep your stunting on these chicks in the projects, ass on an apartment that a family in need could occupy. She doesn't do it so the neighborhood can have a place to get items they would not have to go too far to purchase. No, she does it to show off, but when she actually had to live here and supplement herself through welfare and food stamps, she was just as needy as the people she pretends to give back to, but she gives back simply by using the assistance she gets from Chenoa Mayfield, the name she uses to get over on the system. Not to say Sugar Dumplin is not making money, because it is. And I do pretty good from working there, but one day Cassidy is gonna step out of line one too many times, and the messy is gonna come out and her ass is gonna go in to the system for fraud. She still occupies the apartment during the days her husband is out of town on business with the airline. She uses the front part of her apartment, living room and kitchen, for the merchandise we sell, but the 2 bedrooms are still for her and her boys, Jaren and Jaron, who really seem to love the time they spend in their old apartment in opposed to the Dennis the Menace suburbs. And who can blame them? They were barely 10 years old and already drinking in the mom's hustle, but I guess they are much better behaved than my hellions, especially my firstborn, Tashada. She is 15 going on 31, forever trying to floss with the money she makes during the part-time job at Sugar Dumplin. I am forever having to bang on some chick's door about hating on and trying to jump Shada over some little hood boy. Yeah, I said it. No one is exempt from a beatdown over my kids, so yeah, I will fight a child and shoot a grown-up. Etienne is always telling me that Shada is gonna get me into something I can't get out of, much like the situation she is in with her man, someone else's husband, who she popped out 3 kids for him, all unbeknownst to his wife, who couldn't have children of her own. Just and I forever doing Etienne dirty like the side chick baby mama she really is, giving her chick support only when he feels she deserves it, because legally he was not required to pay anything. His name was not even on their birth certificates, and they each had Etienne's last name, so legally she was a single parent. A stuck one for no reason at that. Enjoli. Now there is a story. Homegirl lost her damn mind after baby mama number 3 killed no good baby daddy while he was in bed with the wife of a well-known pastor. Enjoli lost custody of her children after suffering a nervous breakdown. At least the kids are in a loving environment with the grandparents and the half-sister, which baby mama number 3 gave birth to in prison. But don't spill tears yet, because Enjoli never has to do a thing but let the benefits roll in. And as long as she gave a portion to Desmond's parents for things for the kids. Yet. And still she doesn't even need to be living here, but she does. Which brings me to believe she is not only sane, but she is a better hustler than Cassidy, Etienne, and myself. Enjoli. Not the fool I once was. Desmond Broaddus. I gave that man all of me, yet that wasn't good enough. He lied, cheated and humiliated me in his life and clowned me after being killed by one of his scrapes, while in bed with a jump off, and into his grave. He took my sanity. I was left with 3 young children, and nothing else, and soon after his funeral, I lost custody. Due to a short stint at Patrick B. Harris Mental Facility, I guess due to my actions at his funeral, I was torn up. I barely made it to the casket. However, Etienne, Cassidy and Sebring was there for support, and to be messy. Now I don't remember blacking out, until I felt the 2 burly church ushers pulled me off Desmond's casket. All I remember was me beating the hell out of his corpse. I hit his body so hard and so fast. So many times. So out of it that I didn't realize my right hand was broken due the impact from his frozen, embalmed body and the brass knuckles. However, never once did I feel remorse. That was simply get back. And revenge is sweet, almost as sweet as Sugar Dumplin. Although I had always been a partner in the neighborhood store, but after the judge ordered me to mental health treatment, my children are with Desmond's parents, so I put myself to work to take my mind off the looks I often get from people, and the nicknames Thump Thump, Gone on the D, or the fave, Big Mama Undertaker. To hell with them though. Because my crazy ass is paid, and as long as they come into the store and buy a few of my potent nerve medication, at first I was reluctant. But Cassidy swore up and down it was no worse than what others do. Etienne just tried to act concerned about selling them. Sebring didn't care because she often bought a few herself, and then sell them for more than I charged. Truth be told, if I wasn't already crazy, I would be well on my way. Kin. No time for fake people. First and foremost, I don't really have to tell much about my life, because I am sure you already know all about me being a baby mama to someone else's husband. And yeah, he always takes my money and my time, giving little in return. The only thing of meaning he ever gave me are our 3 children, whom he pays little attention to simply because he cannot claim them in public. His wife wouldn't understand. So I wonder how he managed to file our kids on their income tax return each year. Justin is simply selfish and I knew that from the beginning, but his swag and everything else made me a fool in love. But now it seems time to kick him to the curb. What do I look like on welfare, and my kid's dad is living his life like it's golden, and has me struggling. But working with Cassidy, Enjoli and Sebring allows me to keep my head above water. Trust life could be worse. And if I keep being a fool for another woman's husband, that worse is not too far away.